Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where the only thing extreme about Extreme Rules was the extreme amount of time we had to spend watching wrestling. It's Lost in the Midcard. Welcome. This is our G1 in San Francisco and Extreme Rules review show. A little different format tonight. We're gonna talk briefly about G1. It happened 10 days ago, so we ain't gonna get too much detail, but there is a lot to discuss about it. That's for damn sure. So we'll hit some of those highlights. And I was out of town all last week, so basically got sick on the tail end of the week. So we didn't do an Extreme Rules post show. So here we're gonna cover that. Then we'll jump right into Raw and SmackDown. We'll close the show with some headlines, because there's a lot to talk about in the headlines as well. But first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do, search for Lost in the Midcard. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Thursday and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view, but we've been kind of stretching that truth here lately. You can also subscribe to us on the Facebook. The links to all that, go to our pinned post, facebook.com/lostinthemidcard. And you can also go to our pinned tweet on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast. Not only will you find our subscription links there, but we share a lot of entertaining tweets from the wrestling world, as there is a lot of entertaining folks in the wrestling world. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at RawF Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. A couple things. I think Kevin Owen would disagree that there was nothing extreme about Extreme Rules.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's a good point.
And as far as running a post show after every WWE pay-per-view, the way that they're running their shows lately, I'm almost inclined to say we should just run a post-game show after the Big Four.
Yeah,
Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Because
or maybe,
so far, they haven't done a really good show outside of the Big Four lately.
Yeah.
That makes me excited enough to get on and sit down and record after a 5-hour pay-per-view.
Yeah, maybe
because you got the 4 hours and you've got the freaking pregame show.
Yeah, maybe add Money into the Bank into that as well. So maybe we'll call it the 5 majors. Maybe we'll go with that plan. And we'll see. Apparently, Vince McMahon was not at Raw on Monday, so maybe the keys are getting handed to
he wasn't at Extreme Rules. I did not hear that.
Extreme Rules. Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I meant to say Extreme Rules. Vince was not at Extreme Rules, so maybe the keys to the castle are maybe finally coming over to Mr. Paul, Triple H man.
Well, that's the case. Paul should have known better than to not put the Rusev and AJ on last.
True, but that was probably his call, wasn't it?
Yeah, because apparently the board backstage had the Intercontinental title opening the show, and which would have made sense given the shitty way it was creatively booked.
Yeah,
and Roman and Lashley closing the show. It was apparently the final 3 matches were scheduled to be Styles, Rusev, Bliss, Jax, and then Lashley and Reigns.
You know, it was
which is what the board read backstage at the show that day, and they changed it within like 90 minutes before going on the air.
And it's ridiculous because Rusev and AJ had the best match of the show.
They absolutely did. It was easily the best match of the show, and I would go as far as to say that the Intercontinental title match was the worst match on the show.
I don't think it was bad. We'll get into that once we get there, but
the work wasn't bad.
Yeah.
The creative that was involved in the match was terrible.
The finish was god-awful. I'll agree with you there.
Dude, if you expect the crowd to be invested in a 30-minute Iron Man match when one competitor has 3 falls in less than 7 minutes, like, what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah.
It was terribly done.
We ain't gonna see an Iron Man match anytime soon in the WWE.
I surely hope not, because if they're gonna book them like that, I don't want to see another one.
Yeah, I got sick of that crowd too.
No, the crowd gave them what they deserved.
I don't know about that, but
I 100% agree that they gave them what they deserved. They were taken out of it. They didn't have anything else to do. They kept themselves entertained by campaigning to bring the Royal Rumble back to Pittsburgh, and that's all I've got to say about that. The crowd did nothing wrong. WWE should have put on a better match, and that's on them. It really is.
Let's kick it off with some better news, or a better note. G1 in San Francisco. Holy fuck! I mean, we weren't going into it excited at the card, so to speak, but holy fuck, did they put on a show, didn't they?
Hey, sometimes things don't look, sometimes top to bottom things don't look spectacular on paper, but damn, they really did a good job.
And Omega almost said as much in his speech at the end, too, talking about the haters, and then look what we did, we filled the Cow Palace, and look what we gave you. Kicking off the show was 10-man tag with Takahashi, Chase Owens, the Gorillas of Destiny, and King Haku of the Bullet Club taking on Yoshihashi, Gato, Rocky Romero, Roppongi 3K. Good opening match, a lot of energy, so I think this was a perfect opener. Matt, it was pretty cool. It's really cool to see a father wrestle with his sons, but Jesus Christ, King Haku still looks like he could whoop some major ass, doesn't he?
He's a bad dude.
My God. The Bullet Club got the win there after Tonga hit the stunner on Gato. And that was a great opener. I enjoyed it a lot. Next up was Suzuki Gun against what Ishii and Yano aren't really associated with anybody right now, are they? I don't really think they are. I know Yano is associated with selling his DVD. That's for sure. But I mean, I cannot get any more of keep giving me Suzuki and Ishii beating the fuck out of each other, please. That was so good, wasn't it?
They weren't pulling any punches.
Oh my God, I want more of that, please. Ishii and Yano got the win. Kind of a surprise there for me. I thought maybe Suzuki and Sabre would get the win there, but Ishii and Yano get the win there. Next up is a tag match. Marty Scurll, Hangman Page took on Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kushida. This was a killer match for sure with all four men involved. Bullet Club get the win after Page hits the rite of passage for the win. For the Never Openweight Championship, Jeff Cobb took on Hiroki Goto, and this was I didn't know what to expect out of this one, and I thought these guys gave us a good match here. I had, obviously I've seen Jeff Cobb in Lucha Underground as Matanza, but I've never seen him wrestle a live match just as himself, and I thought he did a good job against Goto here, Matt.
Yeah, I see a little bit of Taz in Jeff Cobb.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have a bright future in this business if he keeps it up.
Yeah, the guy. It's so weird seeing him as Matanza, who is this emotionless demon-like guy, but you see Jeff Cobb in New Japan, and he's full of life, and he got the crowd behind him, and it was great. I enjoyed. It was a match I didn't know what to expect going in, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Rematch for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Young Bucks, Evil, and Sonata. I mean, we don't really have to spell this one out for you. It was fucking good. Young Bucks continue to just be the best tag team in the world, right, Matt?
I would be hard-pressed to think of a tag team better on every level than the Young Bucks right now.
I loved how JR used the Bucks of Youth line, too. Little Matt Hardy line there. in the end, the Bucks tried to hit the Meltzer driver on the steel chair, but it got reversed, and LIJ hit their own Meltzer driver, and Nick Jackson broke it up at 2, one of the many great near falls in the match. LIJ hit a magic killer, but the Bucks ended up hitting the Meltzer driver finally to get the victory there. And then it was intermission time, and the first match after intermission, we have ourselves LIJ and Chaos. Naito and Bushi took on Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada. And Matt, how odd is it looking at Kazuchika Okada without that title?
I don't think it's as weird as everybody else thinks. I think it's nice that he doesn't have the title anymore.
Yeah, it's
what I find is truly surprising, and I don't even know if you know this, but Okada lost his first match in the G1 tournament against Jay White.
Oh, ooh.
So Okada's in the process of putting motherfuckers over right now.
That's
very, very interesting.
That's props to him. You know,
some people would speculate that he might be doing jobs on the way out the door.
Honor or Dubba Dubba?
Oh, well, he already does Honor, so it would be Dubba Dubba.
Yeah, but I mean, you could. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But I mean, you could. Some of those guys are full time ROH now, and not as much New Japan anymore, though, right?
Yeah, but I still
think
that
works.
I still think if something's happening, it would be for WWE. It wouldn't be for Ring of Honor. But we'll find out.
Yeah.
I just find it weird that the matches that dude's dropping as of late. Look, I don't mind it. I think it's great. I think as much as he's won, he needs to drop some matches. But
I mean, it gives
him losing to Jay White in the first match of the G1 was very surprising to me.
It gives the ultimate rub, a guy that held the belt 680 days, whatever he held it for, almost 2 years. I mean, that's the ultimate rub to defeat him for the belt like Kenny Omega did. And I mean, we've been talking about that on this show for well over a year. Kenny Omega had to be the guy to beat Okada for the title.
Jay White now claims he's the leader of Chaos.
Oh, okay.
Since he defeated Okada.
Oh.
So take that for what you will.
Chaos is fine.
Yeah.
Bullet Club is a little more finer, but boy, we'll get to that in a minute. Outside of the main event, my second favorite match of the night was Dragon Lee and Hiromu Takahashi. I mean, these fuckers went a million miles a minute, did some insane shit. I mean, it just did not stop. The action, some of the unique moves.
Dragon Lee almost killed a motherfucker.
Yeah. Do you put blame on anybody on that, or just one of those freak fuck ups and
accidents happen, man?
I mean, that was like
that's all you can really say about it.
That was like the 30th suplex of that match, so it wasn't like it was,
it's a dangerous suplex to attempt in the first place.
Yeah, that was like a package. It was kind of like a package type of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Takahashi landed right on his fucking head. Word is that he is fine. He says he's fine, according to Twitter. So probably just a little bit of rest. And
well, apparently New Japan keeps their injury reports very, very quiet. So it's going to be really hard to fully determine the extent of the injury. But I hope the guy makes a full recovery, and we eventually see him back in the ring again.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the tweet. He says he's fine. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people say they're fine when they're not really fine.
Yeah.
Look, Bullet Club was supposedly fine for months. It was anything but fine. So just because somebody says something's fine doesn't mean it really is. Yeah. But I like I said, I hope nothing but the best for him, and yeah. I hope he gets to eventually return to a ring, and if he doesn't, I hope he at least gets to live a long, healthy life with and be happy with the career that he had. I don't want his career to be done, but sometimes you got to look out for your health first.
Yeah. So hopefully we can believe Takahashi when he says he's fine. Like I said, I've been saying for probably the past year on this show, he was one of the fastest rising favorites of mine in New Japan. So hopefully he can get back in the ring soon. He did hit the time bomb for the W, and so Hiromu Takahashi is still your IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. The penultimate match of the evening was for the United States Championship. Of course, the first G1 special crowned a new United States champion when Kenny Omega was the first. Jay White defending his belt against Juice Robinson. Of course, Juice Robinson is All-American. He's flamboyant and he's All-American, so of course the crowd behind him. It wasn't on the level of the match before it, Matt, but I still thought these guys put together a pretty damn good fight. And somebody needs to tighten up those barricades, huh?
They should have been interlocked, and they weren't.
Yeah, because that dude in the blue suit.
Robinson said that he and White were told by the people in charge of the venue that were putting the stuff together earlier that afternoon that those barricades were all going to be interlocked.
Yeah.
And that's why they had those spots planned that they had.
Yeah.
But clearly, they were not interlocked, and clearly, a lot of people got hurt because of it, especially Jim Ross.
Jim Ross and that dude in the blue suit in the main event.
Yeah.
He took one on the knee pretty good. So basically, the talk of basically the whole event outside of the main event and what happened after the main event, the talk was all about the Jay White suplexing Juice Robinson into the guardrail, knocking Jim Ross on his ass, and ended up JR broke a rib. Props to JR because he really didn't miss a beat from here on out, did he?
It's son of an old veteran of this business, man. The show must go on, and he did everything in his power to make sure he saw it through the rest of that show. He clearly in pain and agony.
Yeah.
The rest of the way. So
I've never, to my knowledge, I've been listening to Jim Ross since I was probably 4 or 5 years old. So that's a long time, kids. I'm almost 39, so if you want to do the math. I think that's the first time I've ever heard Jim Ross cuss on air. After he got back up and seated. And
I've heard him swear before.
On air, though? On a broadcast?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure I remember him calling Vince McMahon a son of a bitch.
Well, I'm not counting that as a...
That's a swear, dude!
That's PG.
That's not a PG. Son of a bitch is not PG.
Yeah.
Will you stop?
It's TV PG.
I completely disagree with that.
But yeah, he goes, when are the officials going to get control of this shit? And of course, after the fact, Josh Barnett first told Jay White, "You done fucked up," and then gets up into the ring and stares down Jay White, who wants.
Yeah, clearly White was not expecting that.
White does not want any of a former UFC fighter at all. Officials calmed Barnett down. He dropped another F-bomb on the air, and they dropped another one later on when him and JR got back on the mic. So, wow. That was interesting, wasn't it?
Hey, it was just it was a guy looking out for his friend.
Exactly.
I can't hate him for that.
Oh, I don't at all either. A lot of people think, oh, it's a work. He's going to get in the ring. No. JR didn't break a rib on purpose. So that was not.
Yeah, this was not a work. Anybody who think it was a work is really thinking too hard.
At the same time, it's not Jay White's fault too much either because like you just mentioned, the facilities were supposed to interlock those barricades, and
but at the same token, when they did the early spots earlier in the match,
they should have known better.
That those things were not interlocked. They should have, forgone the rest of those spots throughout the rest of the match. And they didn't. So, they're kind of at fault too. It's, there's blame to go all around in that one.
At the end of the match, Barnett goes, "Don't worry, Jay, I'll see you later." Good thing he's wearing dark pants. I think that's a line JR said before. Juice Robinson reversed the Blade Runner in the end. Rolled up White for a small package to get the 3, and your new IWGP US Champion. It's on a United States man for the first time. Of course, Kenny Omega, Canadian. Jay White, New Zealander. Juice Robinson, the first man from the United States to hold the U.S. Championship, and a great moment to have Juice win that title, wasn't it, Matt?
Oh, it was great. I was very, very happy.
Of course, the big thing going in was Juice had a cast on his his left arm, which is his main arm. He's a southpaw. He could not use it or he'll be DQ'd, and so I thought that played into the story brilliantly, how Juice had to modify his offense. Then when the ref was down, fuck him. I'm going to use it.
Speaking of fuck him, I love the fuck you switchblade chant.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was pretty damn great.
He's a good old heel here. I like the character. I like the wrestler. I'm not saying he's Kenny Omega by any means, but
he's not.
I like Jay White. I do like Jay White though, and
I still think the guy's supremely overrated. But I thought his match with Juice was one of his best matches he's had since he's been back in New Japan. So,
and God, to be a fly on the wall for the conversation between Jay and Josh backstage, that would have been fun. Main event time for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Kenny Omega's first title of defense, and it's against Cody. And, oh, man. This had all of the emotional draining that Ciampa and Gargano had in New Orleans, didn't it, Matt? This was
it's been a long build-up, man.
This was a
long time coming.
This was a ride.
This was a lot better than their match at Supercard.
Oh, by far.
This is so much better.
It was so crazy to see, Brandy's at ringside, and so are the Young Bucks, and they're actually kind of cordial, and they're like agreeing that you guys are going too far with this, and they ain't listening to shit. I thought the Bucks and Brandy played a great role in this match on being on the outside.
Yeah, everyone played their role perfectly.
And then, of course, the action inside the ring. Jesus Christ. That suplex off the top of the ladder. A double foot stomp through the table. Kenny shot-putting Cody over the top rope and hitting the table that doesn't break. Table 1, Cody 0. This match had it all, man. And it was getting to the point where Omega was hitting so many V-triggers, you're just like, man, just pin him already. You guys that love Omega, you're rooting for Omega, but you're like, God, just put him away already, because he was pounding the shit out of Cody with those V-triggers. Cody Rhodes hit the crossroads, but Omega kicked out. And it was good crossroads, too, planted Omega head first there. Like I said, all the V-triggers. And finally, he hits a pile driver for a 2 count, but then is able to set up the one-winged angel and hits Cody to finish him off for good. So still your IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Kenny Omega. The Bucks check on Omega and Cody. Brandy there as well. Omega extends his hand to Cody, pulls him up, pats him on the shoulder. 2 nod at each other. Very cordial kind of show of respect. As Omega likes to do. I always love it when Omega gets on the. I always love it when Omega gets on the mic at the end of a show. Put over the Cow Palace and their fans. Talked about how, as humans, Cody deserves a second chance, and he promises everybody to give the best professional wrestling matches to everyone on the roster. Thanks the crowd for being lively. The house lights go up, showing a full house, and goodbye and good night. Bang. Oh, so that's it, right? You know, roll the credits, right, Matt? You know, Bucks and Omega. Hey, there's Gorillas of Destiny and King Haku. Roll the credits, right? Bullet Club, happy family. We're ready to end G1 in San Francisco, right, Matt? Nope. Nope.
Nope. What?
Nope is the answer of the credits rolling.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Oh my God. God and Haku beat up the Bucks and Omega. The God takes off their Bullet Club shirts to reveal Firing Squad shirts. I'm sure those will be
still had the words BC on them.
Yep, because they're I think they're going to try to claim Bullet Club because they're the original members, is what I'm thinking. Based on what kind of what Tom Aloha was saying on the stage at the end. Kind of makes me think they're going to try to claim it. But
they could try, but they're not gonna win.
No. I think they might be WWE bound, man. If they're leaving Bullet Club, that's what happens when you leave Bullet Club.
Yeah, I don't know.
So God and Haku beating down the Bucks and Omega. Hangman Page tries to come in and help, but he gets beaten down. Marty Scurll comes in, he gets beaten down. Chase Owens and Takahashi come in. They get beat down. Why didn't they all come out together?
Who knows?
They may have been all heading to their own rental cars when somebody said, "Hey, wait!" Here, after all these bodies are on the floor, who comes out but Cody Rhodes? They hand a chair to Cody, told him to finish off Omega. But Cody uses the chair on God. But obviously Cody's been beaten all to hell, so it didn't take long for the Tongans to take effect. And they do an upside down too sweet and pose on the stage to end the show. What a fucking finish! And is this a heel turn or a face turn for Cody?
Yes.
Omega and Cody and Bullet Club, are they fine now?
Yes.
How about that? What a man! That's how you finish a fucking show, isn't it?
If you watched Being the Elite, you would know the Bullet Club is fine now.
Here we go.
You really need to start watching damn Bullet Being the Elite, JB.
Yeah, I know. What episode should I start with?
Episode 1.
Oh my God, that's gonna take forever.
Start from the beginning, pal.
Forever.
You have to watch the whole series.
Okay, well, where do I start to catch up, and then I can go back with episode 1?
Start with episode 100 then.
100? Okay. How long are these episodes?
15 to 20 minutes apiece.
Okay. All right.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
I will try my best.
You need to watch Being the Elite. Any fan of Lost in the Midcard or fan of the Bullet Club would tell you the same thing. As much as you think you enjoy the Bullet Club now, you would love these guys and their characters 10 times more by watching them on Being the Elite. The character development on there is what makes the group so good. You're missing out on such a big part of this group by not watching Being the Elite.
Well, I got some time Saturdays, so I'll do a little binge watching from 100 on.
And then you're gonna go back and start at episode 1.
Yes.
You'd be like, "Nah, I'm hooked. Let me go back and watch the rest."
Extreme Rules from the PPPPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. There's a lot of fucking P's there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 2 kickoff show matches. I'm glad they finally decided to do that since, well, you know.
It's better than listening to talking for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I'd rather have 2 matches than that fucking panel.
Especially with the co-branded pay-per-views. I mean, we didn't even get a Bobby Roode on the card or a Samoa Joe, so it's good to at least have a couple of pre-show matches to get more people on the card. Andrade,
we'll be talking about poor Bobby Roode later.
Oh, we will. Andrade Cien Almas and Sin Cara had a rematch, just like the rematch. The kickoff show match was really solid. These guys definitely worked together very well. After 8 minutes, Almas hits the hammerlock DDT to defeat Sin Cara. And then tables match between the New Day and Sanity. And it was short, but it was fun. And Matt, the right team went over, so we could actually get a little momentum for Sanity, right?
Well, you have to get some momentum somewhere. They didn't start them off right in the first couple weeks of being there, but they seem to be turning the corner now. So
yeah, and I'm perfectly fine with these two teams feuding all the way to SummerSlam. You?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't know if they'll get a match on SummerSlam, but
yeah, it'll probably be one of the 4 kickoff show matches. But
4 kickoff show matches. Oh
yeah. Got pre-show starts 5 Eastern pre-show.
Oh my God!
For SummerSlam. Yeah.
If it's a 2-hour pre-show, it might start at 4.
Oh, you're right.
Because if they've moved the regular pay-per-views back to start at 7, what if SummerSlam starts at 6?
Oh, that's right. I wondered if SummerSlam starts at 5. No, I think they still all start at 7, 6, 7.
I don't know, dude. The big 4 normally start an hour earlier than the rest of the pay-per-views. We don't know what this is going to be yet.
Oh boy.
This seriously could be. Oh my God! The pre-show could start at 4 p.m. Eastern, and the fucking real pay-per-view card could start at 6.
I'm
my God! I want to shoot myself.
I'm telling you now. I don't know if we're actually going to do a show for SummerSlam because I'm going to be out of town.
Because we might be dead afterwards.
Well, that too, but I don't know when I'll be back into town, so I'm going to probably miss half of SummerSlam by the time I get back into town. You
son of a bitch.
Yeah, so I'm going camping that weekend, so I'm going to...
Watching SummerSlam, you jobber.
Yeah, The Raw Tag Team Championships kick off the main Extreme Rules card. The Deleters of Worlds take on the B Team.
Annoyed the hell out of me.
What's that?
It's annoyed the hell out of me.
That the B Team won? Yeah, I mean, after winning against Matt Hardy for 3 straight weeks, you figured, this is the typical formula.
And at least if they were going to lose, why couldn't Bray take the pinfall?
Yeah.
Like, they've spent the last month burying Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
And, why? What the fuck did he do?
And what's weird is I have a feeling that the V Team is going to drop the titles next week.
Dude, I don't think they are. I hope you're right, but I don't think they are.
I think I have an odd suspicion they're going to.
I hope you're right, because I don't like the way Matt's been treated lately. And I wouldn't have had a problem with the B Team winning had Matt and Bray had some wins against Bo and Curtis in singles competition going into the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But they lost to them every single week, which made you think, okay, they're getting beat up now, but at the end they're going to retain their titles and it's going to be okay. But no, you lose again, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't get it either. I think it surprised everybody that the B Team won that match. But no, I think I just have a suspicion that they're going to win on Monday.
I hope you're right. I don't like seeing the way that they're treating Matt Hardy right now. I don't like it at all.
Kurt Angle interviewed by Renee Young after the first match, and he says he's recently opened negotiations with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. And Angle says that Lesnar refuses to defend the Universal title against anybody in the WWE.
Because he's a bitch.
Yeah.
Part-time bitch.
I was going to say, fix that line for me, please.
Hashtag part-time bitch.
Part-time bitch. He's the mayor of Part-Time Bitch City. And Angle says that Lesnar is going to have to come to Raw tomorrow and agree to a title match, or he's going to get stripped of the title, which got one of the biggest pops of the night.
It really did, and that was so great.
It did.
The one thing I always find really funny is all these people are like, "Oh yeah, Brock, you don't want to say anything to Brock's face. Brock will beat you up." If I'm a fan and I see Brock Lesnar and I call him a part-time bitch, if he wants to beat me up, I'm going to sue his ass.
Yeah.
So, I mean, knock yourself out, Brock. Let your temper get the better of you. But, I'm not. If I saw Brock at Target or whatever, and I was annoyed enough, you know what? I probably would call him. I probably would call him a part-time bitch. And if he wants to beat my ass and put me in the hospital, that's great because I'll own your house and everything else you own afterwards when I sue your ass.
Exactly.
So, just this guy takes himself way too seriously. He's a pain in the ass. I cannot wait for him to either drop the title at SummerSlam or the night after, if they wait to do the cash in the night after SummerSlam. I just can't wait to see him gone. On to the point where I was so happy when this dude came back in 2012, and now in 2018, I'm just like, good riddance, and don't let the door kick you in the ass on the way out.
Yeah.
Just I've had it. I'm completely done and over this guy, and I don't know how much you know about me and what I feel about the UFC. I'm not a Daniel Cormier fan by any stretch of the imagination. I've always liked John Jones, and even though the guy continues to fuck up time and time again, but damn if I won't be excited to see Daniel Cormier knock Lesnar's lights out in the octagon. So, just fuck that dude.
Yeah. And like the WWE Stats Twitter account had the gall to post on Twitter tonight. This is the first time that both champions have held the belts 250 plus days at the same time since Batista and Cena, and I'm like, no, yeah, Brock hasn't held the title 200. Brock hasn't held the title 250 days. Now he's held the title like 20 days in my book.
No, he's held the damn thing. He just hasn't done anything with it. He probably eats dinner on it. He probably uses a dinner plate.
Shit. I mean, come on.
The guy just doesn't care. I mean, he just, seriously, this isn't even, storyline at this point. Like, I really don't think the guy gives a damn about the WWE in general. And I just feel like he's there to collect a paycheck. And, honestly, if you don't want to be there, here's the door. Because you're not the box office attraction to the WWE that you were when you came back 6 years ago. And when you get your ass knocked out in the octagon in your first fight back, your value to the UFC is going to be minimal too, because nobody's going to want to see you because you can't even win a fight.
Well, I mean, the MMA record's 5-3, isn't it?
Yeah, he doesn't have the most impressive MMA record. Meanwhile, Bobby Lashley's MMA record's like 15-2.
Yeah.
So,
And for damn sure Lesnar doesn't give a fuck about the Universal title. I mean, that's a belt that's existed like 2 years. So, he doesn't give a fuck about that either. So, it's probably a bonus.
He doesn't give a fuck about anything other than his paycheck.
I mean,
that's all he cares about.
Maybe he gives a fuck about the title because that title maybe is a boost in his paycheck. I don't know. Anyways, Finn Balor, Baron Corbin up next. This was actually a very solid match with these two guys. I enjoyed it. It only went about 8 minutes, but I enjoyed it. I was surprised that Balor won. I thought maybe they would put over the authority figure here, but I was happily surprised with Balor winning. What were your thoughts on that one, Matt?
Balor needed this win.
Very much so, yeah.
And even though the match is short, and I know some people online didn't like it, and I don't really understand why, I thought it might have been Baron Corbin's best match on the main roster. So I thought for the most part him and Balor worked pretty damn well together.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a short match, but by no stretch of the imagination was it a shitty match. It was a great match between those two. I just wish he was not dressed as Director of Operations Kane when he was.
Look, he's the 2018 version of Corporate Kane. And I mean, then that's all it is, and then that's fine. Because honestly, let's get real. Does Baron Corbin really need a push any bigger than he already has? No. This is a very suitable role for him.
this is kind of putting the burner on simmer after losing the Money in the Bank. It's kind of putting it on simmer. He's still prominently in the spotlight. He's still there every week. He's in major storylines, being with Kurt Angle. And then once that passes, he'll probably get pushed again. Vince loves the guy, and I do too. I mean, I've always enjoyed Corbin. So
I don't know if Vince loved the guy so much. I don't think that cash would have happened like it did.
The word is but he had that little outburst with the concussion guy or whatever. But every time I hear backstage shit about with Vince loves the guy. So I don't know.
Guess we'll see, pal.
But yeah. Maybe he'll be the new commissioner of the XFL.
Oh my God!
He did play football.
Stop it!
The Bludgeon Brothers beat up Team Hell No backstage, and Rowan took the mallet to Kane's leg. Real life, Kane has a foot injury, so he could not compete. This is their way to. Kane did still compete later, which was cool. It was good, but this was obviously the setup to kind of take him out of the match for the most part. Carmella Asuka, this was an abortion. Asuka basically dominating for 5 minutes and then being a stupid baby face and got distracted, and Carmella shoves Asuka into the shark cage and gets the win. Abortion's a good word for that, wasn't it?
I didn't want to talk about it because I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah, Asuka's been treated like dog shit since she lost her streak. So
yeah, I'm beyond tired of it.
After the match, Asuka beat the shit out of Ellsworth. Poor Ellsworth. Next table for three: Brad Shaw, Bruce Pritchard, Eric Bischoff. I bet there's some stories there.
It was very entertaining.
It looked entertaining from them talking about Pritchard accusing Bischoff of stealing their talent. Table for Three is one of my favorite shows on the network, and one of my favorite shows is coming back, the Edge and Christian show that totally reeks of awesomeness. I can't wait. United States Championship match: Jeff Hardy Nakamura. Well, it lasted 6 seconds. Classic heel Nakamura, low blowing Hardy. I loved how Nakamura executed the low blow and then just nonchalantly walked off like, oh, I'm just taking off my jacket. Ref didn't see it. Nakamura's heel is great. Of course, Hardy's pissed off and says ring the bell, and Ada Kinsasha right after the bell rang. So your new United States champion is Shinsuke Nakamura. Consolation prize for not getting the WWE Championship, huh?
Look, let's just be happy that went the way it did and they didn't put it on Almas instead.
Yeah.
Because from my understanding, the original idea was to put the title on Almas, and Vince was so happy with how Nakamura ended out the feud with AJ, he decided to give it to Nakamura instead. So, because Vince wanted, yet again, another foreigner as United States champion, because he loves that.
Vince loves that.
So, the original plan was to put it on Almas, and luckily, to me, in my opinion anyway, luckily he changed his mind and decided to give it to Nakamura instead.
Which is interesting.
Nakamura fully deserved it. Because he busted his ass in that feud with AJ and needed to get something out of it.
Which is weird, because I thought to myself tonight, I go, once that title comes back around to a heel, I bet Almas will be the next heel to hold that title. It's funny that you say that, because he was supposed to be holding it now.
Yep.
Because I think once whoever beats Shinsuke for it, I think Almas comes around and beats that person for the United States title, maybe by year end or something like that, or early next year. But everything
he deserves a reign.
I
hope he holds it for a while.
It's weird because people don't hold the United States Championship in high regard, but it's a prestigious title. I mean, it's been around since '75. Your first champion was Harley Race. Guys like Sting and Luger holds the longest reign with the title. There's a lot of tradition with this title, and it looks like the picture for the United States Championship right now with Orton and Hardy and Nakamura and maybe Almas later. It's really turning into a good mid-card title. much like the Intercontinental has. Of course, Intercontinental's been the top title of Raw for a year and a half. Randy Orton's music hits out of nowhere, just like an RKO, and he stares down Nakamura and then hits Jeff Hardy in the groin, and that was it. And I'm like, that's it? And it made a little more sense later where he on SmackDown, but it looks like Orton is turning heel, and then, well, we found out tonight Orton's turning heel. Oh my God. We'll talk about that one in a little bit. Steel cage match, Strowman and Owens before the obvious, Matt. I thought these guys were putting on a great steel cage match. I was hoping it'd go longer than and all of a sudden it ended when Owens died.
Yeah, Owens got the win that nobody expected, so that was definitely a tribute to Foley and Taker.
Oh, very much.
20 years later, in Pittsburgh, they recreated the spot.
They did.
So,
it was a good match before that, though, too, man. I was enjoying it.
Look, neither of those guys have bad matches.
Yeah.
And clearly they work very well together, not only as a comedic duo, but they work well together in the ring, too.
The best part was the end of the match. Strowman comes over and goes, "Your winner, Kevin Owens." I love Strowman.
Well, basically the fans on the internet said that Kevin Owens did a complete tribute to the Attitude Era in that match by delivering a Stone Cold Stunner, a DX crotch chop, and diving through the table, a la McFoley.
I forgot all about the crotch chop and the stunner.
Yeah, we were saying it was Kevin Owens' ode to the Attitude Era in that entire match. So
he hit 3 of the highlights right there, man. That was man. I told Matt this on Twitter. I go, that was about the safest landing for that type of bump that Owens could have had.
Yeah, I'm hearing all the injuries that WWE claimed he had on Raw are all storyline related.
Yeah, I heard the same.
I've heard he's sore. But I've heard he's okay, which is really the best thing that matters. Oh yeah. So
Kevin Owens is one of the vital, if not one of the most important assets to that company right now today. So it's definitely great to hear that he is fine. SmackDown Tag Titles, the Bludgeon Brothers, Team Hell No. Only Daniel Bryan came out, so it was a handicap match for some time. A lot of people are speculating, are they going to put him with somebody else? They're going to put him with The Miz? No, The Miz was gone. But Kane did eventually come out with a walking boot, got a couple of choke slams off, but it was not enough, as the Bludgeon Brothers are just too dominant and took down Team Hell No in about 9 minutes. Next up is Reigns and Bobby Lashley, and I came into it saying I figured this would be a good match, and they delivered, didn't they? I mean, it wasn't the best match of the night, but they delivered.
It started off slow, but I felt they picked it up and delivered by the time it was all said and done. And sometimes that's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, they got the crowd chanting Rusev Day early on because it was going so slow, but then at the end they started getting the old Roman sucks chants in there. And were you surprised with the Lashley getting the win there?
I was surprised, but I was happy. But now they just see what the things that are going on Raw right now. I'm not super happy about it, to be perfectly honest, because now I feel like Lashley, we'll let you have your win at Extreme Rules, but when it really fucking matters, we're putting Roman over. That's my main worry. I want to be wrong. I would prefer a no contest turn into a triple threat or Lashley winning. I don't know if I can stomach Roman and Brock again. I really don't know if I can.
What I'm saying is, I said this from the beginning. I completely expect this to be no contest. Hell, I think it'll probably be
fierce.
Nobody. I think it's going to be. They're going to beat the shit out of each other. It's going to go all the way to the back, and they're going to get double count out.
Wouldn't it be funny if Brock shows up and lays them both out and tries to get out of having a match at all?
That would be funny. And Kurt Angle says, fuck you, triple threat.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I would actually appreciate that. I would actually appreciate the fact that Brock actually showed up and did something. So that's why I don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, I know. That's our theme lately on Twitter. This would be a great idea. That means they ain't going to do it.
Yep.
What were we saying? Oh, you were saying earlier that Iconics and Mandy Rose
and Sonya should team up.
They should team up. That's a great idea. I think I responded. That's a great idea. That means they ain't going to do it. That's a shitty idea. That means they're going to do it.
They should do it, but they won't do it.
Yeah. So Reigns with Lashley with the spear. After 14 minutes, Lashley gets the win. They're a good match between those two powerhouses, for damn sure. Extreme Rules match, Bliss and Jax. It was fine. It was a gimmick match. So, I mean, we weren't expecting 5 stars here where we're at.
Not really.
We're just all basically waiting for Rousey Bliss at SummerSlam. I mean, that's going to be fun. Rousey's probably going to take the title, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely 100% Rousey's leaving SummerSlam with that title.
I almost said absolutely 100,000% she was going to leave Money in the Bank with the title because I figured, have her holding the WWE champ or the Women's Championship while she gets inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame.
Yep.
That didn't happen,
but SummerSlam, their big four.
Yeah.
Her being, as important to the company as she is.
Oh, let me tell you something.
Like here, she's the most over person in that company right now.
Let me just tell you something here. I was doing I was doing an article grading the different segments and matches of Raw, as I always do.
You better give SmackDown a big fat A, brother.
Oh, yeah, they will. I'll write that tomorrow.
SmackDown might even deserve an A+. Like, that was pretty much the perfect show tonight.
I don't do an overall show grade. Maybe I should start doing that in my.
You should do an overall show grade.
I should. I do each segment and whatnot. Okay, but let me tell. So, but each slide I got to put in a video. So I just put in, what WWE puts on YouTube, right? Okay. Average video. Let's say Kurt Angle addressing Brock Lesnar situation video, 232,000 views. Okay. B Team and Ascension last night, 185,000 views. Sarah Logan, Ember Moon last night, 233,000 views. Okay. Reigns, Balor, McIntyre triple threat. Oh, that's a little more, 936,000 views. So on average, they're getting about 250,000 views on each of the videos they post, right? Ronda Rousey violating her suspension to brutalize Alexa Bliss, 2.6 million views.
Wow.
If that doesn't tell you...
that's a big difference.
If that doesn't tell you who is drawing the attention of the WWE right now, just look at all of the view totals on YouTube.
See, I was thinking it was probably going to be like double or something, the other numbers. I didn't expect it to quadruple those numbers. Good
Paul Heyman,
Lord.
The Paul Heyman answering Kurt Angle's ultimatum was 1.2 million, so it did double that.
Oh, okay. Well, you said that was like 232,000.
No, that was Kurt Angle's addressing the situation. I don't know what that video's from.
From Extreme Rules?
It might have been from Extreme Rules, yeah. And then the opening segment of Raw got 1.2 million views. The triple threat, 936. And they don't show the whole matches. They 3 minutes of the match is what you see. But yeah, 5 minutes of the Ronda Rousey segment, 2.6 million views. So that tells you something,
Tells me that the Lakers should stop chucking up threes.
Oh, yeah,
Think I'd throw that out there.
Alexa Bliss wins by hitting Nia with a DDT onto a steel chair after 8 minutes.
Oh my god.
As my Amazon Echo goes off again. Whoops.
You should know better by now.
I know. And I keep headbutting the mic. I'm not used to the mic being in this position. So I keep headbutting it like I'm King Haku. But the match of the night, you're not going to get an argument out of Matt or myself. The match of the night was for the WWE Championship, AJ Styles versus Rusev. Matt, nothing makes me more happier to see Rusev look this good in the biggest match of his career.
Oh yeah, the match was great. Should have went on last.
Oh yeah, it should have went on. Definitely should have went on last. Why is it not going on last?
I don't know, man.
I don't get it. I mean, AJ's defending this title, unlike some other people. But Rusev AJ was a classic. Went 16 minutes. Lots of great near falls. A little storyline. Aiden English dropped the turnbuckle padding to expose it. But in the end, it was Rusev that ran into that turnbuckle and then ended up eating a phenomenal forearm to get the win after 16 minutes. Great match of the night. Rusev looks great. Hopefully he can stay on top of the card, and hopefully they don't break up Rusev Day.
I think we're getting Rusev versus English at SummerSlam.
Oh my God, really?
Yep, I do. We'll see, but that's my opinion.
God damn. I mean, English is good, but to go from the title to that's not a SummerSlam marquee matchup, man.
Better to be on the card than not on the card at all.
True, but I don't see it. Well, we didn't see Rusev at all on SmackDown, so maybe that's a telling thing. But hey, maybe Rusev goes back to the machine, which I don't really want because he's fucking funny. But I mean, the machine was what made him unstoppable early on in his career in NXT and later early on in the WWE. So I don't know. Which way do you want it to go? Not what. I know you said what you think, but what way do you want it to go?
As long as Rusev continues to get pushed, I honestly don't care.
True.
I think Aiden English is expendable. If they choose to put him and Rusev and Lana back together as an on-air, manager and wrestler, I mean, it's going to be perfectly fine. He will totally be fine without Aiden English if that's the route they choose to take. If they wish to keep English with them, then that's fine. And honestly, Rusev's fine either way. English's career hangs in the balance depending on what they choose to do with him over the next month.
I think
because if they break him up and Rusev beats English at SummerSlam, English goes nowhere but down.
I don't know. I think English has been doing well with his intros to Rusev and impressed enough. I think he could still survive, but yeah, I don't know, man. Don't know what would happen if Rusev Day breaks up. But next up is what is called the main event, but not quite. 30-minute Iron Man match between Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins. Of course, Drew McIntyre is able to be at ringside because he defeated Seth Rollins in the main event on Monday Night Raw in a great match. And as Matt said, they went a little crazy with the pinfalls and up 3-0 early. That kind of got the crowd out of it. The third fall for Rollins was actually a disqualification because McIntyre beat the shit out of Rollins. And I'm surprised they didn't give Seth another fall after that because he just kept beating the shit out of him.
Honestly, it should have been a fourth.
Yeah.
There was definitely enough space between that DQ and Drew attacking again, and it should have been another disqualification.
Yeah, logically, you're right. The beatdown by McIntyre onto Rollins enabled Ziggler to tie it back up at 3. And then about 15 minutes into the match, Ziggler gets a roll-up with his feet on the middle rope to go up 4-3. This is where we get the longest time in between a pinfall. But with about, I believe, 3 minutes left on the clock, I think Rollins tied it up 4-4. And Rollins hits the side kick into the stomp, but could not cover before time went out. And no overtime, I guess, because we don't know when they're going to institute overtime in an Iron Man match and when they don't, which is weird. But thankfully Kurt Angle came out and said, hey, we're going to restart the match sudden death, but that sudden death lasted about 15 seconds, which was ridiculous. You got sudden death in an Iron Man match, there should be a good amount of drama, especially if it's your main event of a pay-per-view, and they failed to do so. I thought the match was fine. I thought the match was good, but and I honestly didn't mind the booking of the falls, but We'll disagree about that one, Matt, but I know we'll both agree on the finish was complete shit.
Yeah, to me the whole match was shit. So I was taken out of it immediately when Rollins won a match on a roll up in like 3 minutes into the match, and I was just like, well, there goes all the anticipation I had for this thing. And they hit a curb stomp like 2 minutes later. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And yeah, I just did not like it at all. That's not the way to book an Iron Man match, and they did none of them any favors.
Let's go right into Monday Night Raw after Extreme Rules, and we gotta say at least Raw was good this week, wasn't it?
It's alright. It wasn't as good as SmackDown.
No, but better than most Raw. Better than most
the
Raws
opening
lately.
segment and both triple threat matches were really good. Other than that, it wasn't a great show.
Yeah, I mean it was better than past Raws of late, but SmackDown blew it out of the water. There's no denying that. Raw begins with a graphic in the memory of Masa Saito, who unfortunately passed away this week. And Kurt Angle kicks things off in the ring, and he said he gave Lesnar and Heyman an ultimatum, and it's time. He's stripping Lesnar of the title, which we all popped at. I was honestly thinking, is this how it's going to end? Brock's just going to just go on and not lose to give up the belt. I honestly thought that could have been a possibility, Matt. But, no, Paul Heyman came out. Ladies and gentlemen, Angle says, we all know who you are. And Lesnar has to come out right now. Angle said he's going to strip him of the title, but Heyman went into panic mode all of a sudden. He realized Angle means business. And Heyman says, people think Lesnar doesn't care about the Universal Championship. Well, he doesn't, Paul. Newsflash. Brock loves being in the WWE. Yeah, he loves paychecks. Yeah. He loves being the Universal Champion. Debatable. Angle says, why doesn't he show up? And Heyman said that Lesnar wants to represent the WWE Universe by wearing the Universal Championship around his waist when he wins the UFC Heavyweight Championship. How many people in the WWE Universe give a fuck about that, Matt?
I sure as fuck don't.
That he's holding the WWE title while he wins the UFC. Yeah, I don't give a fuck either.
And how bad would it be if he's holding that title and he loses? I mean, that's exactly why that's exactly, in my opinion, why WWE won't even take that risk to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
Because that's a gigantic black eye on the WWE. Lesnar goes in there as the Universal Champion and gets his lights knocked out by Daniel Cormier. So.
Yeah. Finally, the third week of August, that title's coming off of the milk carton, I think.
Thank God.
Angle tells Heyman that Lesnar is going to defend his title at SummerSlam. And Heyman wondered who is going to be beaten, victimized, and conquered by Brock Lesnar. Bobby Lashley, first one to come out. And he got a nice pop, because he beat Roman Reigns on a pay-per-view, so that'll get you some fans instantly. Lashley said he had 2 goals when he came back to the WWE, and he accomplished the first by beating Roman Reigns. The next one is to win the Universal title. Drew McIntyre comes out next. That got a pop out of me, because I've been having this dream all along that once Ziggler won the IC belt, Drew was going to call out Brock. Well, we all know that was a pipe dream. But Seth Rollins came out, then Elias, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns. They all go, we want Lesnar. Angle says, well, there's going to be 2 triple threat matches. The winners of those matches will face each other next week. Winner gets Lesnar at SummerSlam. It's all fine and dandy, Matt, except why the hell is Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns in this? Right? They lost. Extreme Rules. They lost. Roman lost clean.
Yeah, I didn't care for. I don't think, I'm not trying to be a dick, but is storyline wise, if you lost your last match, why should you be in consideration to get a shot at the champion? To me, that's just really dumb.
I said it plain and simple on Twitter. I go, I love Roman and I love Seth. They should not be in this at all.
It should have just been a fatal 4-way.
Yes.
With the other guys.
Yes.
And that's what it should have been.
But we don't have that. We have a triple threat match right away after the opening segment. Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Finn Balor. God damn, this was a good match, wasn't it?
It was probably the better of the two matches. I just did not like the result.
Nope. It was a great match, but predictable outcome. Though I still had hopes of my pipe dream of McIntyre dethroning Lesnar. Roman Reigns hit a spear on Finn Balor after 22 minutes. Great long match for the win. But yeah,
McIntyre and Lashley is what I wanted to see. I still wanted Lashley to win.
Yeah.
But
keep him strong.
But I wanted, of the two triple threat matches, my favorite idea coming out of that was McIntyre versus Lashley, because those fuckers tore the house down when they got to work together at Impact.
Mm-hmm.
And if you give them the chance to give them the time to do it on WWE TV, everybody could see, why these two guys are so great.
Yeah, exactly. And you wonder how people get pushed when they return to the WWE or come from another company. I don't think I'm going to be worried about how Vince or Triple H is going to push Drew. I think he's Universal Champion sometime soon, down the road. I think I think he's going to be one of the guys to lead the company the next 5 years.
I guess only time will tell.
Bailey is in the office with Angle. Angle says if he's going to put her and Banks in a tag match against Dana Brooke and Alicia Fox, and if they do not get along, one of them will get traded to SmackDown. This has been a shit show from the creative get-go. But it got interesting later on.
I didn't think so, but okay.
Yeah, I'm wondering where it's going. I know where it's going, but we'll see if you agree with me later. Dolph Ziggler comes out bragging about how he's the Iron Man. Talked about how the Intercontinental title main evented a pay-per-view for the first time in 17 years. Well, that wasn't even for the IC Championship. It was a tag match with Triple H was the champion. But anyways, where was Ziggler when Drew was in that triple threat match? Anybody thinking that?
No, I wasn't really thinking that.
Bobby Roode comes out to interrupt Ziggler, and he says he's tired of being on the sidelines, referring to not being on Extreme Rules' card. Challenges Ziggler for the title right now. And Ziggler says, we can do a match right now. Also, we're thinking, it's for the Intercontinental title. JoJo says that, and Ziggler grabs the mic. I didn't say it was for the title. Nice little heel move there by Ziggler. But Ziggler and Roode, good 15-minute match with those guys. Poor Roode, though, got beat. I thought maybe he'd beat Ziggler, and this would be our SummerSlam feud. But I guess maybe there's a silver lining, Matt. Maybe this finally, the losing kickstarts the heel turn finally that we desperately need from Bobby Roode.
I don't know, man. Like the whole situation made absolutely no sense at all.
Of Roode losing?
Look, if Roode was going to lose, why wasn't it for the title?
True.
Why make it non-title if Roode's not winning? It didn't make any sense.
That's just a good heel way.
No, it's not a good heel way. It's fucking terrible booking. Terrible. It makes Ziggler look like a bitch. It makes Roode look like a bitch. And nothing was accomplished. Nothing. Terrible.
Bobby Roode is walking backstage, and Mojo Rawley showed up clapping and says, and you're supposed to be glorious? That Roode heel turn, it needs to happen. Mojo
Just
Rawley
call
took
James Storm.
Oh, Please. Storm's teasing it, isn't he? He put up the beer.
I put up the money mouth.
You put up the money. Tyler Breeze has nothing to do but job for the next 6 months, even though, well, that's what Breezango was doing lately anyways. With Fandango on the sidelines, Mojo Rawley continuing his winning ways with a quick win over Tyler Breeze. Sasha Banks and Bayley against Dana Brooke and Alicia Fox ended in disqualification when ref couldn't restore order. And at the end of it, Banks and Bayley were talking, and Banks admits that she loves Bayley, and she always will. And that kind of shocked Bayley. My thought is this is just to lull her into a false sense of security, and she's going to beat the shit out of Bayley next week and set up a SummerSlam match. Loser goes to SmackDown.
I don't think the loser should have to go anywhere. I think when fucking people have a feud, they should settle the shit in the ring. Like, the whole storyline doesn't make any goddamn sense.
No, I meant the match at SummerSlam. The loser goes to SmackDown.
No, it shouldn't even... Why is that a stipulation?
That's in the ring.
But why is that a stipulation?
Just because Angle brought it up.
You know, Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman, the loser, didn't have to go to SmackDown because the two couldn't get along. It doesn't make any sense. Why do the women not get to settle their differences in the ring and be threatened to be traded to another show because they can't get along?
That's
whereas
what I'm saying
Braun Strowman can throw fucking Kevin Owens off the fucking stage in a porta potty and get rewarded with a cage match.
I'm saying they have a match at SummerSlam.
Fucking sense.
Yeah, it hasn't been making sense for months now. I'm saying this ends with the match at SummerSlam, and then the loser is going to get traded to SmackDown.
I hate your last thing. I don't think the loser...
I only say that just because of what Angle said on Raw earlier.
Well, Angle can kiss my ass. How about that?
Okay, there you go. Kiss my ass.
But this shouldn't just be a one and done feud. They've been building Bayley and Sasha Banks for months now. SummerSlam should be, if that's where they'll be the first time they're going to finally let them fight, that should be the first of many Sasha and Bayley matches throughout the rest of the year.
I'd hope so. I just thought maybe loser goes to SmackDown just based on what Angle said about how one was going to get traded. So, but do you think that's where it's going to lead? Is just Sasha kind of being kind of reeling her in before
somebody's going to turn heel and the other one 100%. And that's going to lead to the match at SummerSlam. Be it Bayley or Sasha, it's going to happen, and they're going to fight. And, that's all there is to it. If they don't fight at SummerSlam, like, literally these last several months of this storyline have been all for nothing.
Next up is Alexa Bliss and Mickie James gloating of how Bliss left Extreme Rules as the women's champion. The crowd starts to stir because Rousey's standing in the crowd. She's supposed to be suspended, but she's there. Stone Cold Ronda Rousey. And Mickie and Alexa try to bail, but Ronda cuts them off at the top of the ramp and chases them down in the ring, slaps an armbar on on James, but Bliss pulled her out. Right after that, Bliss is grabbed by the hair by Ronda, and Ronda's getting ready to slap an armbar on Bliss, but Kurt Angle comes out and says she has to calm down. She only has 2 days left in her suspension. Go home, wait it out. And then Baron Corbin showed up and said, you got to put your foot down. And Angle says, okay, you're suspended 1 more week. And Corbin goes, that's not enough. I'm calling Stephanie. But he couldn't find his phone. Well, that's because Angle stole it.
What a little bitch Baron Corbin is. You're not doing something like I'm going to tell on you. Grow the fuck up, Baron, you little bitch. You little bald-headed corporate bitch.
Yeah, at least he's not a part-time bitch.
He's a full-time bitch.
You're coming out. You're coming up with all these great bitch hashtags. Part-time bitch, bald-headed corporate bitch.
Full-time bitch.
Full-time bitch. Half-time bitch.
I don't know what halftime bitch is.
I don't know either. I just said it. Good stuff from Rousey here, though, right, Matt?
Dude, she's incredible. I would prefer her never to wear her hairstyle that way again.
Somebody made a comparison photo of that hairstyle and then mustard on a hot dog.
Yeah, look, the hairstyle wasn't good, but the thing I'll give her honestly credit for is in their months of being in the company, when she comes out in the look that doesn't work, she never goes back to it. Remember that one week she had like the red, like that really heavy red makeup around her eyes?
Yeah,
and she never did that again. So I'm hoping she'll never do that to her hair again.
That didn't stand out to me as much as the hot dog mustard hair, but yeah. Badass though. I mean,
she's incredible. She was made. She was made for this business.
I cannot wait.
She's incredible.
I cannot wait for a Baszler Rousey feud. I mean, it's probably 2 years in the future, but man, that'll be some fun shit.
I don't even think they'll feud. I think I think at that point Rousey will turn heel and join with her friends. I
think that's going to happen, but eventually I think those two are going to feud somewhere down the line.
I would think after they team.
Yeah, I said at least 2 years down the road for Baszler and Ronda, so it may be more than that. But something to look forward to. AOP took on Titus Worldwide, destroyed them in about 2 minutes. God, got to figure out what to do with AOP, guys. The crowd doesn't care about him anymore. Should have kept him in NXT, have him feud with War Raiders, but I'm preaching to the choir here, ain't I, Matt?
I'll tell you how you could save him. They'd be one of the biggest heel acts in the company, but they won't do it.
How so?
You turn Roman heel and you put him with the AOP and form the new Shield.
That would be so badass.
You have Roman turns heel and forms the new Shield with AOP. Roman gets the match at SummerSlam, but ref gets bumped. AOP hit the ring. And Roman first he looks confused, then he's like, "No, fuck it," and they all beat the shit out of Lesnar and they hit him with the triple power bomb. Ref gets up, Roman gets the 3 count. New Shield. I
fucking love it. That means it ain't gonna happen.
Of course it won't. Of course it won't happen. But like I said, if you want the AOP to instantly matter again, and you want to finally get some steam behind a real legitimate Roman Reigns heel turn, you do that. And that's right around the time Dean can come back. So it would be Seth and Dean trying to take down the new Shield. It would be honestly, it's box office. It writes itself. Like, the amount of money they can make off that feud would be ridiculous. They could run that thing all the way to Survivor Series.
And a guy you could throw in there with them is a guy that's been in stables before. He's been in a few clubs. You could throw Balor in there to even the odds.
Or if you don't put Balor, you could even put Lashley in there.
Oh, yeah.
Just somebody who still has a legitimate issue with Roman and says, hey, I don't know you guys that well, but I know Roman enough to know that I want to beat his ass.
Exactly.
And honestly, Lashley being with Dean and Rollins would give Lashley a rub in the eyes of the fans who haven't bought into him yet.
And then
it would work for everybody.
I know, and you could even expand that dynasty in the Superstar Shakeup. Bring the Usos over, and you got 5 guys just fucking going to town on people because you got the obvious ties with the relation between Roman and the Usos, and then you got the heavies with AOP. God, that's so good.
Yeah, there's so much they could do with that, which means they won't.
No,
but there's so much they could do.
Ember Moon, Sarah Logan, nice little quick match, not too bad. But Sarah Logan did get her first singles win in her WWE career, so good job there. Basically, this is just kind of a twiddling of the thumbs until Ruby Riott comes back in a month or so for the Riott Squad. But I think they're doing the Riott Squad. At least, and I admitted it that Liv Morgan is getting better in the ring.
Well, I said, she wrestles circles around Carmella.
Yeah,
and I mean, if that's the standard in our industry right now, you just have to be better than Carmella. Then Liv Morgan's made it. Congratulations, girl. You're better than you're hashtag better than Carmella. So,
and I've always been a fan of Sarah Logan, so
I don't know
good
if I'm
match, though.
feeling the whole Viking thing they're trying to push with her. But yeah, I mean, Sarah Logan's clearly solid in the ring.
Yeah, I like Crazy Mary Dobson, but we ain't getting that, obviously. Elias with his usual song for us, and he's got an album coming out too.
So weird.
Seth Rollins comes out, and followed by Lashley. Triple threat match to end the night. As you said, not as good as the first triple threat, but this was a damn good triple threat, wasn't it?
Dude, it was great. Like I said, both triple threat matches were awesome. So
I thought,
and this one, the guy I wanted to go over actually went over. So
true. Though I would not have hated Rollins and Reigns, but and then maybe it's Rollins.
My
and
problem
Reigns.
is, a month and a half ago, Rollins would have been destined to fight Brock Lesnar. This feud with Dolph Ziggler killed Seth Rollins. It has absolutely killed that man's credibility. And anything that I felt a month and a half ago that Seth Rollins should be the guy to beat Lesnar has been thrown out the fucking window thanks to Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, I don't know about thrown out the window, but in terms of beating Lesnar for the title, yes, that ain't gonna happen. But I think Rollins holds that title before the end of the year.
I don't.
I don't think it killed him. I don't. He's the hottest wrestler right now.
I think whoever wins that title SummerSlam weekend is gonna hold that title going in next year. I don't think they're dropping that title anytime soon. Be it Roman, be it Lashley, be it Braun. I don't think any of those guys are dropping that title anytime soon once they take it. I wouldn't be surprised to see them hold it to, all the way to WrestleMania. Whoever one of those three win it. And I'm fine with that because, hey, they're on TV.
True. I think Strowman comes out of SummerSlam weekend with the title, but I don't think he's coming out of Brooklyn with it. I don't think he's holding it all year, all the way to next year.
I didn't mean all the way to next year's SummerSlam.
No, I know.
But I could easily see Strowman win that title to WrestleMania.
Not Brooklyn. Not Brooklyn. Wherever the fuck Survivor Series is this year.
I have no idea.
I think Strowman holds the title a good 4 months. But I don't think he's going to hold it into 2019. Anybody, whoever wins. I think it's going to be a shorter reign just for the simple fact that it's been on the same guy for so fucking long. I think there's going to be at least another title change in 2018.
If you're doing the shortest reign of the three, it should be Roman.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to be a short reign though. I'm saying a good solid.
Dude, SummerSlam to Survivor Series is a short reign.
Yeah, that's about 90 days, 120 days. Yeah.
It's a short.
Well, more like 90.
That's a short reign.
Yeah, it's like
Kevin Owens held the title longer than that.
Well, Kevin Owens held the title for
like 6 months.
Days, didn't he?
Like 6 months. For like September or February.
When you look at the record books, it's going to say Kevin Owens is still your longest reigning Universal Champion of all time.
No, unfortunately, dumbass Lesnar has that.
I don't care. No. Kevin Owens is the longest reigning Universal Champion.
Well, you can say that, but you can't say the books are going to say that because the books don't agree with you.
Bobby Lashley, of course, comes out on top. Great, phenomenal match with those guys. I really love the rise of Elias. I'm still baffled how they didn't give him the Intercontinental title. Maybe they turn him babyface and he wins it from Ziggler.
They could easily babyface Alliance anytime.
Oh, man.
Anytime they want to, he's ready-made to be turned.
Easily. So we got Lashley Reigns next week. I think it's going to be no contest. I thought that from the get-go. Triple threat. And, Strowman isn't one to be an opportunistic guy. Strowman might let his intentions be known before SummerSlam. I'm butting in.
The only reason I think it might go that he might not even cash in at SummerSlam is the fact that Barclays has already announced that Lesnar is going to be at the Raw the night after SummerSlam. And normally Lesnar does the pay-per-view and then gets the fuck out of town. So the fact that he's going to be in Barclays the next night for Raw, for some reason that tells me that that Lesnar might retain at SummerSlam and Braun cashes in on him at Raw. Monday. Because I could see Lesnar and Heyman out there, and Heyman cutting the promo. You won't see my client again until he is the UFC heavyweight champion. Yeah, and they go to leave, and then Braun comes out and cashes in and takes the title from Brock.
I honestly, think
I could totally see them doing that.
I honestly think that booking is better. It doesn't end SummerSlam on a great note.
It does not end SummerSlam on a great note. People are going to leave that building pissed. Because here's the thing. People, if that's the main event, which it probably will be.
It will be.
People will stay. Even if it's Roman versus Brock. People will stay because they think that there's a chance that Braun's going to cash in after the match. and then they don't. And then they're just like, puke worthy.
Yeah.
So
the only thing I can think of is Lesnar has one more agreement appearance, and it's basically to say F you, I'm going to the UFC, kind of leave on a boo note, and then when he comes back to the WWE, you got a heel, monster heel already to have him challenge a babyface. That's the only thing I can think of. If we have Strowman win at SummerSlam. So, I don't know. I like the booking, but Get is going to leave a sour taste in people's mouths for 24 hours. For damn sure. It'll make for a great moment, though. But SmackDown Live from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Jeff Hardy kicks off the evening. He says he may look like Jeff Hardy. He may make an entrance like Jeff Hardy. He may wear face paint like Jeff Hardy, but he does not feel like Jeff Hardy. He feels incomplete. He says his heart is broken. Brother Nero, I knew you'd come. Hardy says that Nakamura is a no good, low down jackass. Yeah, I love the jackass sound after that. That was funny. Jeff said that Nakamura used a low blow because that's the only way that he could beat him. And tonight his focus is clear. He will fade away. He'll make Nakamura fade away and classify himself as obsolete. And win back the United States Championship. Right after that promo, Renee Young interviewing Shinsuke Nakamura to comment on what Jeff said. And Nakamura said, Jeff's a sad clown. He wears face paint to hide his tears. Nakamura says it's his title now, and he says that is a reason to smile. Smile, Renee. And he's going to give everyone else a reason to smile by making a clown cry again. God bless America. Nakamura. God bless Nakamura, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Nakamura and Renee, man, those two together, he just intentionally pissing her off is so funny. One of the matches that we were made aware of ahead of time, AJ Styles, Andrade Cien Almas. It's a non-title match.
As
damn
it
good
should
match,
be.
though. Yeah, true. Damn good one, though, huh, Matt?
I thought the match was okay. I wasn't blown away by any means. I was happy with the finish, but I didn't think it was a great match.
I thought it was a good one. I didn't say great or awesome or match of the night, but I thought it was a damn good match. Aiden English apologizing to Lana and wishes he could take it back last night at Extreme Rules, or 2 nights ago at Extreme Rules, but he cannot. And Aiden says that wants Lana to talk to Rusev. Lana said Rusev's angry, disappointed, he needs space. But she asked him what is best for Rusev. And so, you think it's going to end up with Rusev and Aiden at SummerSlam, huh?
Yep.
Becky Lynch taking on Mandy Rose with Sonya Deville. Short little match with Becky putting on the disarmer for the victory. I said it a couple months ago. I felt like whoever came out of the Asuka and Carmella was going to face Becky Lynch at SummerSlam. It's definitely looking like that because Becky Lynch is basically tapping out the women's division at this point now.
Yeah,
Matt made a good.
Becky's going to beat her next week.
Matt made a good point. Where's Sonya Deville and distractions anywhere, you know? And
like she was up on the apron once, and it was in like the first minute of the match.
Yeah.
And like the whole entire finish, literally, I was watching Sonya because the camera was right on her, and she's just standing there doing nothing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, seriously, you couldn't get up on the apron and try to get her to break the hold or anything? I mean, at least Liv Morgan got on the apron like 5 or 6 times Monday night to help Sarah Logan beat Ember. Sonya was just like, yeah, I'm sorry, Sonya D for effort tonight, girl. You know, you didn't come through for your bestie.
I think Liv was in the match more than Sarah Logan was on Monday night.
Surely felt like it at points.
Yeah, I told Matt, I go, if this was Absolution, 5 minutes ago would have been a disqualification and a beatdown on Becky Lynch. So, the times have changed, huh?
Sadly, times have.
Paige and Carmella in the office, of course. This leads Carmella and Becky Lynch next week. If Becky wins, she will face Carmella for the title at SummerSlam. We all know that's going to happen.
Yeah, I would be shocked if it happened any other way.
Yeah, Becky's been on such a roll lately. She's the one to go in, and she also deservedly deserves another run with that title. I mean, she was the first one to hold it, and that was a long time ago. That was 2 years ago, basically. So, Ty Dillinger went to sleep thanks to Samoa Joe. So a good flurry by Dillinger the first 30 seconds, but it was 30 seconds was all it was. That Joe tossing Ty into that ring post, that was brutal.
Ty toss.
We all hope and think that Paige's announcement next week leads to Samoa Joe, AJ Styles at SummerSlam.
Damn well better be.
There is no other way.
There is no other choice, Paige.
Nope, none. I think Joe said as much on Twitter after he beat down Ty, too. So, The Miz gave a funeral procession for Team Hell No. I thought this was Miz at his finest. Good stuff as always from the A-lister. I loved when he put his hand up when he was asking for the moment of silence, because you know when the hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Then he starts talking shit to Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan's music plays, and all of a sudden the pallbearers, they look like wrestlers from a local indie promotion. They're getting ready to stop Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan came in from behind and attacked The Miz and beat up the pallbearers. Overall, a great way to kick off the feud we've been all waiting for, right, Matt?
Yeah, buddy.
I thought it was a good segment.
Yeah.
And very well done. Miz, great as always on the microphone.
It's been a long time coming. They've been building this for a while. So
over 2 years, so at least over 2 years when that Talking Smack episode happened.
Yeah, but at that point, they didn't know they could get to this point.
I know, which makes it even sweeter. I had to step out for a dinner, so I did not get to watch Eric Young and Kofi Kingston as Sanity and the New Day continue to feud. What were your thoughts on that match?
I actually thought it was a good match.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. In the end, everybody getting involved, of course. No surprise there. Young with a wheelbarrow neckbreaker for the 3, as Sanity continues their winning ways. And next up for the United States Championship, Jeff Hardy, Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, what's up with Jeff Hardy right now, Matt?
I was under the understanding that he was dealing with some injuries. And I figured the quick thing from Extreme Rules meant they were going to give us some time off, but then he had a 20-plus minute match tonight with Nakamura in the main event, then Orton tried to rip his earlobe out. So
my God.
Now I feel like, maybe he's just going to work hurt. I don't know. But I'm hearing he's banged up. I hear he's got some injuries. So I don't know.
Well, maybe this beatdown might take him off, and they takes him off through SummerSlam. And
no, clearly we're getting Orton and Hardy at SummerSlam.
Oh, you think so? You think so?
I'm pretty certain.
I didn't know if this would put him on the shelf for a few weeks, and they revisit this at after SummerSlam, or. I'm kind of curious what Orton's angle is on this, because he made it clear that there's a reason for this. And do you have any guesses?
The only thing I can assume is Hardy's first night on SmackDown. Hardy stole the spotlight from Randy Orton when Orton was coming out to challenge Shelton Benjamin, and halfway down the aisle, Hardy's music overtook his, and Hardy took his spot. That, to me, that's the only thing that I can, even begin to give you an example of why.
Orton did get back at him the next week, though.
Well, it's Orton. Clearly, we'll find out next week. So,
God, when he was pulling on that earlobe, I thought he was actually going to rip that fucker. Oh,
I know this is off topic, but did you see that picture of Brian Cage dressed as Bane?
Yeah,
that's fucking incredible, dude.
Yeah, I think he was putting an audition into Warner Brothers.
Well, I think he should, and honestly, if they ever do Bane again, that's the dude that should play him. Even if they don't want him to voice him, and they want to get somebody else to do the voice, because he's wearing the mask the entire time. You could have anybody voice him you want. But Brian Cage should play Bane. That's how I've always imagined Bane to look, as a comic book come to life. That's that. You got if you want to do Bane right, that's the guy you got to bring in.
I mean, if you've ever seen the iconic comic where Bane breaks Batman's back, I mean,
Brian Cage could do that.
He's so much bigger. Tom Hardy, he did a good job, but that's not Bane.
I thought Tom Hardy was terrible.
Then I mean, let's not even discuss the Joe Schumacher Batman movies, because they were terrible. But Bane
kind of looked like Bane in that one, though.
He did. He looked like a cartoon too.
Yeah.
This Batman break was brought to you by.
It was still wrestling related. We talked Brian Cage.
That's true.
I wouldn't have brought it up if it wasn't for the fact that it was a wrestler that was dressed up like him. So
I'm a big fan of Brian Cage too. So Orton's attack causes the DQ, and he beats the shit out of Hardy, doing everything but an RKO, because an RKO will get a pop from the crowd, and that's what they don't want right now. So just a good old fashioned beatdown, and very disturbing. Pulling on the hole in Hardy's earlobe. That was just disturbing.
Dude, that kind of made me feel a little uneasy. I didn't like that.
I thought he was gonna rip it out. I thought he was gonna rip it. Oh my god.
That honestly, I can't remember the last time I legit felt uncomfortable.
Yeah. That was uncomfortable.
Watching wrestling programming. But that I kind of felt uncomfortable watching that. There were people in the crowd that they showed people grasping at their own ears.
Oh yeah,
I completely understand those people choosing to do that, because that was a little dark. I was just I felt uncomfortable watching that. It took me a couple minutes to get situated out of after SmackDown was over, to get down here and record. So. Yeah, it was damn.
Let's end the show on some headlines. The big headline of the week, the WWE announced on Monday, or on Sunday. I got my days mixed up because we're recording on Tuesday instead of the normal Wednesday. Hulk Hogan reinstated into the WWE Hall of Fame after 3 years. Matt, what's this tell you? Just step one of the rest of the steps,
I think it's step one of a very long process that they're not ready to continue to commit to. He didn't, as far as my understanding, he didn't sign any type of contract. He didn't sign a Legends deal or an ambassador's contract or anything like that. He was there to apologize and be reinstated in the Hall of Fame. Honestly, I didn't think he ever needed to be removed from the Hall of Fame to begin with, because of the way the Hall of Fame's structured. It's not something. I mean, if that's the case, why isn't Sonny removed? Why isn't why isn't Donald Trump removed? Why are people that have done things just as bad or not if worse than Hogan. Why are they still in there and they didn't get removed? So, like, to me, like, did he deserve to lose his job? Yes. Did he deserve to be removed from the Hall of Fame, a place that doesn't even have its own physical location? No. I didn't think he deserved to be removed from the Hall of Fame. But now he's reinstated, and that can just be one step in a grand scheme of many other steps. And he's going to I've heard he's going to work side by side with Mark Henry, to continue to do more work to, try to pay penance for what he did. And that's honestly, that's all you can do in this world. Yeah. You make a terrible, terrible mistake, and the best thing you can do is just try to make up for it and become a better person. And if Hogan has truly become a better person and he's trying to make up for it, and then WWE's working with him one step at a time to make things right, then more power to everybody involved. And I'm just glad that, this might end up having a more happier ending than, letting Hogan die without, reconciling with the company. Because I still hold a lot of ill will towards the WWE for, for not getting the reconciliation done with Randy Savage, and us never getting that Randy Savage induction ceremony speech that we so rightfully deserved.
Yeah, I mean, there was reconciliations with Warrior, Bruno Sammartino. Yeah, it unfortunately just not early enough for Savage.
Yeah.
It took Vince way too long to finally get over himself. But how soon do you think he would be in the video game? Does he have to sign a Legends deal in order to be in that?
He could sign an agreement with just 2K, because that's how 2K does the pre-order bonuses. They signed a deal with Goldberg. At the time when Goldberg was the pre-order bonus for 2K18, he didn't have a contract with WWE. That came later. And clearly the same thing could happen. If 2K wanted to sign Hulk Hogan to a licensing deal to put him in the game, they could. And for all we know, maybe they already have. For all we know, maybe he is in 2K19 and we just don't know it yet. And, that could be yet another step in, the rehabilitation process of Hulk Hogan in WWE. I know, but
in terms of the game, it's probably all they got to do is just unlock him.
Well, at this point, the roster's already finalized. We don't know we don't know the roster yet. But I guarantee you that roster's already locked down.
His assets didn't disappear.
They scanned him for 2K16. And they never got they removed him from the game because that's when the thing came out. So they have his completed done models from 2K15, both red and yellow and Hollywood. They scanned him again for 2K16, so it's really only a couple of years. And honestly, their game models don't look a whole lot different from year to year anyway. So they could technically still just use the scans that they have from 2K16 and put him in the game. Like they totally could, and it wouldn't take that much effort. It's just dependent on if they chose to do it or not. Because let me put it this way: the tagline for WWE 2K19 is "Never Say Never." So far, nothing about this game feels like "Never Say Never." Hulk Hogan returning to WWE games would be appropriate. Would be an appropriate tagline worthy of "Never Say Never."
China showing up in WWE.
China being in the game would absolutely be a perfect example of a "Never Say Never" tagline. But for so far, "Never Say Never" doesn't make that tagline makes absolutely zero sense for what we know about the game thus far. So.
Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, has exclusive details from Extreme Rules in Pittsburgh. Hulk Hogan was in attendance backstage, met with the locker room. He met with the locker room to formally apologize for his comments. According to several sources who were present, Hogan spent a long time apologizing for what he said and for hurting others and embarrassing the company with his comments. Hogan then took time to remind everyone to remember to think about what they are saying, point out in today's day and age. They have to remember that there are always cameras everywhere. Ask Paige and Alberto Del Rio. They can be recorded even though they don't realize that they are. Johnson was told that talents gave Hogan a big reaction at the end, and a number of them were shaking his hand and hugging him at the end of the meeting, with Hogan getting very emotional. Hogan also took to Twitter Sunday afternoon and said, just met with the WWE superstars on all levels. The volume of love and support was overwhelming. I've been praying for this day, and I finally feel like I've made it back home. Only love for the WWE Universe, brother. PW Insider was told Hogan may be at the TV tapings, but that is yet to be determined. Hogan also met with a number of WWE officials during Extreme Rules. The feeling backstage among the wrestlers is Hogan is back on board with the company. But as Matt said, PW Insider has confirmed that the company has not signed Hogan to any kind of deal, just that he's been reinstated into the Hall of Fame. As Matt was saying, as Mike Johnson says here on PW Insider, WWE is taking baby steps to approach the entire situation, which is the wisest choice they can make.
And it absolutely is. There's zero need to rush in to this. You made the right call by bringing him back into the Hall of Fame, so he's back in the WWE family. So heaven forbid if something were to happen to that man tomorrow, at least he got to make peace with things this weekend, and probably will feel better for it, and in the long term, and that was a good thing. But at this point, you still, it's baby steps, and that's the best way to put it. As you say, Mike Johnson said, baby steps. Baby steps is the best way to do it at this point. So,
more from Mike Johnson, as we a couple of weeks ago uncovered Dolph Ziggler potentially already signing a deal, as he's been advertised for dates in December. The same is holding true for Daniel Bryan. His contract expires on September 1st.
He still hasn't signed.
But WWE issued an announcement to fans in the Detroit area that on the Tuesday, September 4th SmackDown taping, Bryan is announced for that taping. Also, over last weekend, WWE announced that Bryan would make his first appearance at Madison Square Garden in 3 years when they return on December 26th. So, of course, card is subject to change, but hey.
I will tell you, as of Sunday night, early Monday morning, the people that I spoke to have 100% confirmed that Daniel Bryan has still not signed a contract with the WWE.
Yeah, and
so despite what other people are saying otherwise, I know there's some people out there saying it's a done deal and that he signed. That's not the case. He still has yet to sign, and I mean he could have signed today. But as of Sunday night, early Monday morning, for the people that I spoke with, he has still not signed a new contract with the company.
And Mike Johnson later on Sunday night said that he has yet to sign a new contract, and according to the Business Times, there is a good chance, though, he is staying put with the
probably.
WWE. So, yeah. Bryan said, wrestling world is an interesting world right now, but I love working with the WWE. My wife is a part of the WWE, so there's a good chance I'll re-sign, Bryan told the Business Times.
I truly believe if it was not for the Brie Bella factor, he'd be gone. And I believe that with all my heart. If it was not for Brie, Daniel Bryan would be in Chicago on September 1st. He would show up at All In. But I don't. I think the Brie Bella factor is going to be enough to make him resign with WWE.
And on top of that, he's got a family now, so.
Which is a big part of the Brie Bella factor.
Yep. Dean Ambrose is in Birmingham, Alabama over last weekend, continuing to work towards his return to the ring, which many have believed to be targeting September. Hopefully the Lunatic Fringe gets back soon. I think he's going to have a heel turn sometime soon, too. Soon after his return. WWE announced former WWE Divas champion Caitlyn is going to return to the company and compete in the Mae Young Classic. There's been word that she's been training with Pablo Marquez in Florida and has worked a few indie shows over the last year. And WWE made the official announcement earlier last week Also announced for the Mae Young Classic, Rhea Ripley. She was in the tournament last year, and so she will be returning as well.
But she's a performance center girl. Like I don't know why she hasn't been on TV in the last year.
Yeah,
unless she got injured or something.
Yeah,
I liked what I saw. Yeah, I was going to say I liked what I saw from her from the Mae Young Classic last year.
Vernice Gabriel, a female star in the Philippines, has been booked for the Mae Young Classic. And then, of course, the big news that came out of the Japan tour. How do you pronounce her first name? Is it Io?
I believe it's Io Shirai.
Io Shirai?
Yep.
She'll be in the Mae Young Classic along with Nicole Matthews, veteran from Canada.
They better start announcing motherfuckers soon. They tape that shit in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They're running out of time to freaking, they've announced like 6 people of the 32, and you're taping from, let's say Wednesday the 18th. You're taping 3 weeks from Wednesday. Yep. So, guys, it's time to start announcing who's in this damn tournament.
Casey Catanzaro from American Ninja Warrior, who's been in the Performance Center for a while now, she's also going to be in the tournament. Probably expect Deonna Purrazzo to be in it too, because she's at the PC now.
Yeah, I would be shocked if she's not involved.
Update on Hiromu Takahashi. He was taken to a San Francisco hospital for evaluation. He was able to return to Japan 4 days later on the 11th and will proceed with treatment for his neck injury. He posted on Twitter as well that things are fine. Hopefully, as we said earlier in the show, that he gets well soon. Fandango underwent surgery, successful surgery to last week to repair the torn labrum in Birmingham. He will be out for about 6 months. Nikki Cross.
Poor Tyler Breeze.
I know. I wish he'd get a push out of this, but he probably won't.
NXT's calling your name, Tyler.
Oh God. I mean, he was. I thought he'd be NXT champion at some point.
He could have been. He could have been if they'd have left him down there a bit longer.
Yeah. Some good news for the Sanity fans. It sounds like Nikki Cross is working some SmackDown Live events, but no.
I've only heard of one so far.
Yeah. So. Hopefully. Get well wishes to Goldust as well. He had surgery on both of his knees, so I bet he's not feeling too good nowadays. He posted a great little picture, him all bandaged up, his legs all bandaged up, and Fandango's shoulder all bandaged up. As those two guys are probably bonding as they recover from their injuries. Former Intercontinental Champion Santino Marella, he's at the Performance Center, helping out the trainers, as well as Beth Phoenix this week. TLC this week is going to be moved, or this year is going to be moved to December. Wasn't it? It was December a few years ago, wasn't it?
It used to be a strictly December pay-per-view, and they bounced it to October, but now the only pay-per-view in October right now is the Australian Super Show.
A lot of scuttlebutt that the women, it might be a women's only pay-per-view in October.
Good.
I've heard.
Hopefully they introduce women's tag titles at that show.
Exactly. Would you have those be cross-branded, the tag titles?
You kind of feel like you'd have to.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they've got it. I don't think they have enough women on either roster individually, but on both, like there'd be more than enough to hold a tag division. And they do tag teams for women constantly. You might as well give them something. You might as well have a reason to be doing these tag matches all the time.
I mean, how long has it been since we've seen Dana Brooke in the ring? And Alicia Fox had been hurt.
Yeah, Fox has been out hurt.
But we saw those two girls finally on Raw this week. So, I heard that there might be a women's only pay-per-view to go with the Super Showdown in Australia for the month of October.
That'd be cool as hell.
Ratings for the week. Total Bella's audience went down a little bit, down to about 594,000, still twice as much as Impact Wrestling. SmackDown Live, obviously we don't have this week's numbers, but they did rebound from nearly dropping below 2 million for only the second time since they went live. They did rebound quite nicely last week with almost a 180,000 person gain. So it'll be interesting to see if the promise of Nakamura and Hardy in the main event drew in even more fans. I think it might have. Impact Wrestling dropped down to 284,000 for this week. Raw, we do have the Raw numbers for this week. A gigantic increase after Extreme Rules. Obviously, because it's the road to SummerSlam now. Raw gained almost 400,000 viewers for the week to 2.86 million. But the return of that third-hour drop-off is back. As they had 3.1 million tuning in for right away.
And that was because of the situation with Angle and Lesnar, in my opinion.
Yep.
A lot of people wanted to tune in to see how they were going to handle that. And my fear is a lot of people tuned out after Roman won the triple threat.
Yeah, and they realized who was going to win the other triple threat.
Yep, and they felt like, we have no reason to sit around and watch this.
Yeah,
I saw several people say that on Monday.
Impact Wrestling has announced that Tessa Blanchard has signed a long-term deal with him to stay with Impact Wrestling.
She's out of her damn mind.
Yeah, she easily could be the WWE right now.
And the way they've treated her in her run prior to signing the long-term deal, jobbing to Madison Rayne on 2 separate occasions, I really don't understand why you think it's a good idea for your long-term career to sign with Impact. Because they're going to treat you like, we're going to job you to fucking Madison Rayne, Mrs. Josh Matthews. I think my services could be better used elsewhere. Thank you very much.
Matt, I need to correct you. It's Mrs. Douche Matthews.
Yeah.
If you're in the Chicago area for July, for All In weekend, July 13th has already happened, so these tickets might be sold out right now. Sorry about your damn luck. But if they aren't sold out, you can meet Kazuchika Okada at the Pro Wrestling Tee Shop during All In weekend.
I'd be shocked if those aren't sold out already.
Isn't Punk doing one of those too?
Punk sold out in 30 seconds.
Yeah, no surprise there. But yeah, he's doing one of those at the Pro Wrestling Tee Shop.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, his thing sold out instantly.
G1 Climax is underway, as Matt had talked about earlier, that big upset with Jay White defeating Kazuchika Okada. I haven't seen the standings lately. How are things shaping up? Or kind of still waiting?
Yeah, it's way too early to tell.
I mean, we got round robin matches going all the way into the second week of August.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it's way too early to think of anything at this point. But to me, that's been the biggest upset of the G1 so far.
Maria Kanellis Bennett announced that she's heading to Florida to prepare for her return to the WWE. And
because I need to help hubby get back on TV.
Oh my God, please! I mean, this guy's got too much talent to be sitting on main event.
Mike Bennett, you look like Zack Ryder to cater in with you.
Yeah, God.
If you look like Zack Ryder, you sit in catering. Rah!
Just don't get into it with Simon Gotch. Coming back from commercial or going to commercial, one of the things the WWE will not be bragging about is Emmy nominations. as they were shut out from the Emmy nominations.
I was so happy they were shut out.
Oh my! I hate when they pat themselves on the. I mean, this is clearly a Vince thing, but Extreme Rules was the most social thing last night over Big Brother and the All-Star Celebrity Game. And it was like everything they listed was like, oh no shit. Lost to the Midcard was more socially relevant than some of that shit. I'm joking, but anyways, WWE was on a few of the preliminary ballots for Best Documentary with Empowered for the women on WWE 24, as well as the Andre the Giant documentary. Also on preliminary ballots for Outstanding Structured Reality Program for the Mixed Match Challenge, as well as Monday Night Raw, and Outstanding Unstructured Reality Program, Total Bellas and Total Divas, and Outstanding Variety Special Live Event for WrestleMania 34. But no nominee.
Good. Rick and Morty can get an Emmy, but you can't, WWE.
I guess this is not a spoiler alert since it came from the company, but we have a new MLW champion, don't we?
Yeah, that title reign lasted really long. Good job, Shane.
Shane Strickland defeated by Low Key to become the champion. That happened on July 12th. And this Thursday, they're taping Battle Riot, which will air on the following week on BN Sports.
Yeah, I haven't watched in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I've been out of town, so obviously my watching lately has been, I finally got caught up on G1 today, and I haven't watched Impact in a while or Ring of Honor in a while.
Oh, my thing is I kind of got pissed off when I saw that they pretty much let MVP go from what I can understand is like no good reason whatsoever. And
Yeah.
I was just like, MVP is one of my favorites, and one of the reasons I chose that I wanted to start tuning in to begin with. So when I saw that they did that, I'm just like, my desire to tune in on Fridays kind of dwindled quite a bit.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show 2 weeks ago, and it was kind of baffling. But it almost sounded like it almost sounded like MVP said if the conversation line is open, I'm open to talk. So we'll see what happens there. New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced on August 12th, Rey Mysterio
Booyaka!
will return to action. Obviously, the G1 finals are on August 12th. Rey Mysterio is going to be joined on the card. So we last saw him at Dominion on June 9th, where he formed a team with Liger and Tanahashi. So it'll be interesting to see who they pair Mysterio up with at the G1 final.
I know he wanted to do the match with Liger, so we might end up getting that.
Yeah.
You know,
That'd be cool.
The whole thing is, which I find the whole thing I find very fascinating, is Ray is still in deep negotiations with WWE right now, and WWE wants to lock him into a deal.
Yeah.
And while New Japan, you want to announce him for a show, fine. All In, you want to announce him for your show, fine. Here is what lies my biggest issue. Starcast did a meet and greet with him and have already sold, hundreds or however many tickets they had. They sold them out. The Rey Mysterio meet and greet sold out. If Ray signs a new deal and he ends up not being able to fulfill his obligations, you just pissed off a lot of people that you took their money from for somebody who's not going to be there. So, it's one thing to advertise him for a show, but I would not be selling fucking tickets to a meet and greet right now, and there's a chance that WWE could snatch him away before we even get to All In and he doesn't get to show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just think it's a bad business move on Starcast's part.
Yeah, there's been a lot of bad business moves. We're going to talk about another one later on here. That wasn't the last time. That isn't the first time, wasn't the last time, right? That we're going to talk about Starcast. Broadcast team for All In has been announced. And Alicia Tout, Cyrus.
She's
Sean
terrible.
Mooney. Terrible.
She is, dude. She's been doing the interviewing job on Impact the last couple weeks. She is awful. Yeah. She's so bad. Apparently she's some great podcaster or whatever that she interviews wrestling talent or whatever for these things, and apparently she's really great at it. But as a wrestling interviewer, she's terrible.
Terrible.
So
terrible.
Bad.
All right, Alicia Tout, Cyrus, Sean Mooney, Ian Riccaboni, who is Shut Up Excalibur? I don't know who that is on Twitter. Bobby Cruz and Justin Roberts. How about that? Pretty cool.
So it's gonna be Ian Riccaboni and Don Callis doing the commentary.
Don Callis on commentary. Yeah.
So
with Riccaboni and Cruz, does that give you a little more hope that it's going to be on Honor Club?
Like I said, I know Ring of Honor. Joe Koff has gone on record that they're helping produce this show.
Okay.
So to me, if Ring of Honor's giving assistance to help to produce the show, why the fuck wouldn't it be on Honor Club? I'm gonna be really annoyed if it's on Fight TV because I don't. Because I really don't like Fight TV to begin with. And I'm not really digging the idea of having to spend $40 or $50 for this show.
We got some new ring names for NXT competitors. The guy formerly known as Gunner, he's going to be known as Jackson Riker. Chris Dijak is going to be known as Dominic Dijakovic.
Whatever.
That's a lot of syllables.
I don't.
Anyways. Dominic Dijakovic. Morgan Stanley has raised their target price for the WWE stock to $100 per share. Ooh. I think it's only going to get better. What was it at the end of the close today? Let's go. Yo, stock ticker.
I think it's crossed 80.
Yep, 80.53 up $1.14. 80.53.
This makes me wish so bad I would have bought it when it was $10.
All-time high was hit today, 80.75. That was the all-time high, and then fell back down to 80.53 today. Vince is rolling in it. The Rock Skyscraper, I guess in terms of blockbusters, underperformed in the opening weekend of the box office. It was expected to make about $40 million, but it looked like it hit about $25 million instead with an estimated budget of $125. I'm sure The Rock's going to do just fine.
Yeah, it came out against some very stiff competition. And, it is what it is. Not every movie can, break blockbuster money. So $25 million opening weekend still isn't that bad. There's a ton of movies that would kill to get $25 million in their opening weekend.
Yep. Debuted third behind Hotel Transylvania 3, which I believe debuted on the same weekend, and Marvel's Ant-Man and the Wasp, which came out a couple weeks before.
Yeah, and then they've got that, and they've got those in the theaters. They got Incredibles 2 still in the theaters. There's a lot of competition in the movie theaters right now. It is what it is. When there's that many options, it's harder to to really secure that big box office hit.
Yep. And on top of that, everybody's got a theater at home now. It's easier to have your theater at home. So, things come out on rental a lot quicker, or on digital a lot quicker than they used to. So. One of the great shows, one of the great moments of the year last year for NXT was TakeOver War Games, and it was announced that TakeOver War Games 2 will take place at the Staples Center in Los Angeles Saturday, November 17th on Survivor Series weekend. That was a great show. Great battle in that cage. Charlotte Flair made an appearance yesterday or on Monday on Conversations with Maria Menounos on her SiriusXM channel series, and she announced that she'll be cleared to return to in-ring competition on July 31st. So don't know what that's really going to mean. I mean, she's not going to be in SummerSlam plans at all. So I don't know. They may hold her off until after SummerSlam, don't you think?
Yeah, I can't imagine how they would fit her into SummerSlam at this point. Unless she's in Becky's corner.
To counterbalance James Ellsworth.
Yeah.
That makes sense. A little tea time with the title. WWE announced today, Tuesday the 17th, that they will return to China for the third straight year. They're going to head to WWE Live is going to head to Shanghai at the Mercedes-Benz Arena Saturday, September 1st. Hey, that's when All In is, isn't it?
Yep.
And Ronda Rousey will make her in-ring debut in the country. And the final match for Chris Jericho's Cruise has been set. The Alpha Club takes on the Bullet Club. The Young Bucks are going to team with Chris Jericho to take on Kenny Omega, Marty Scurll, and Cody Rhodes. And yes, I know, Matt, it was set up during Being the Elite.
It has been for weeks.
I know.
It's been like a 3 or 4 week build. You've missed it all.
I promise you, I will make sure. Here, look at this right now. Get that cell phone. Gonna pull up Google inbox. Okay. Gonna email work. Watch Being the Elite on Saturday. Bam! Remind myself. I will be going from 100 to 116.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep. It will. That'll be done on Saturday. I guarantee.
And then you'll start from the beginning.
Yes. Yeah. Then we heard. I can't remember if Daryl and I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but this might have happened after our last show. Nick Aldis's reaction when he found out he has to face Flip Gordon for the NWA title, that was kind of funny. But we all know he ain't going to win, unfortunately.
I actually think Flip is going to win.
You think Flip's going to beat Nick Aldis?
Yeah, and that's how Flip gets on All In.
Oh.
Because it'll be Flip versus Cody for the NWA Championship.
Oh, that's fucking
They have
cool.
no other choice but to book Flip if Flip's the NWA champion. Everybody has said from the beginning that that it was supposed to be Cody and Almas. But if you watched the All In press conference before the tickets went on sale, all they said was that Cody would be competing for the NWA championship. They never said he would be competing against Nick Aldis. So, to me, I think there's a very good chance that this Friday on Honor Club that Flip Gordon becomes the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion.
Ooh.
Yep.
And that'll make you happy. That'll
make me very happy. I will start paying attention to the NWA if Flip Gordon's the champion.
As we mentioned a few weeks ago, D'Angelo Williams is going to make his return to Impact Wrestling. He did a phenomenal job with the company. Another pro athlete is going to be coming as well. Curtis Granderson from the Toronto Blue Jays also played for various other teams within Major League Baseball. He will be the title holder, the special title holder at Slammiversary, and when Moose takes on Austin Aries. Of course, D'Angelo Williams is going to be in Moose's corner. Basically, this is going to be to crown their crown jewel champion, right? That's how I see it. I think Moose is I think Moose is Impact Wrestling's crown jewel, and he's gonna have the title for a while.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is Aries' final date with Impact. Him going over Kenny King clean at Best in the World raised a shit ton of red flags with me. And I can't help but feel like he's gonna run out his stuff with Impact, and he's coming to work for Ring of Honor again. So that's just my opinion. We'll see.
This is baffling to me, but let's make fun of StarCast again because, well, we did already when we found out we had to pay $600. We had to pay $600 to appear on their panel. Now, in order to watch all of these podcasts all these podcasts you can hear for free, but if you want to watch them, you got to pay $150 on Fight TV to watch all the StarCast shows.
Fucking ridiculous.
These are all mostly free podcasts that are, Xbox is on there, Wrestle Crap, Art of Wrestling. Who is going to pay $150? Matt, what did you tell me about free?
Huh?
What did you tell me earlier about if it was free?
Oh, I was contemplating if I was even going to watch it because when I heard that StarCast was going to be on Fight TV, I figured it was going to be free, and I'm like, there might be a couple things I tune into. I don't know. Like I undecided. And now it's just like, now you want me to... I was undecided if I wanted to watch your shit for free. Now you're telling me I got to pay $150? I ain't watching any of your shit. So...
But you get a piece of the ring canvas from all
I don't fucking care.
All right, let's end the show on a happier note. Final headline of the day. New NXT class started at the Performance Center today, July 17th, and this is a hell of a class. Deonna Purrazzo, Keith Lee, Io Shirai, they need no introductions at all. Lacey Lane, she's from Florida, trained at the Team 3D Academy. MJ Jenkins, a former Shimmer and Impact Wrestling wrestler. Luke Menzies is a former rugby footballer. Tyshawn Dong is a former Chinese professional boxer, and Denzel Desjornet, former Appalachian State heavyweight wrestler. So a hell of a class starting there at the Performance Center. Of course, Shirai is already in the Mae Young Classic. We expect Deonna Purrazzo to be formally announced very soon. Keith Lee, former WWE champion, a hell of a talent there. So the future, as always, looking great for NXT, isn't it, Matt?
It always is, man. NXT's the future's always looking good.
That's going to do it for this edition of Lost the Midcard. As always, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do is search for Lost the Midcard, hit that subscribe button, and that way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Thursday, and we'll figure out the pay-per-view schedule later on. So you want to keep abreast of when we're recording right after a pay-per-view, and the best way to do that is to subscribe. The links to that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. Go to the pinned post there. You can also follow on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast, where we share a lot of the great stuff from the wrestling world that has to share on Twitter. Matt's on the Twitter at RawF_Showtime. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we ride off into that sunset, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
I don't know why SmackDown has decided to become amazing television again, but it has been for at least a solid month, maybe a month and a half at this point. Please just keep doing what you're doing, and don't let the shittiness of the Raw brand can contaminate you in any way.
Hallelujah. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thanks for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. We'll be back at you next week.